Yep, that's kind of about the truth right there. More believable. Never forget that one. Yeah, that's about the truth of the matter. Unfortunately, you know, the people that served on this ship, they're probably in their 70s or pushing their 80s, and probably the high ranking officers are probably dead now of old age. Do we ever think that these poor guys are ever gonna get justice and truth out of this? I highly doubt it. I mean, I truly highly doubt it. If the truth ever does come out of why these two buildings were actually taken out and who were the real perps behind this conspiracy, and also the perps that gave the commands to have this ship attacked willfully and impunity, because those people that took the orders that attacked it like they were going to sink it. And unfortunately, we're not ever going to get the truth. And like I said, the truth may only come, 2, 3, or 4, maybe even 5 generations down the road. Although I highly doubt that, because even the way that the victors always are writing the history, and the history is constantly being distorted to fit the views at the time of the paradigm and the regime of the eras. So realistically, like I said, these poor guys, they're going to die not ever getting any kind of satisfaction to the crime that happened that day when that ship was attacked and in 1967. And unfortunately, we all know why, because they don't like people reopening cases, because once it's done and they said it's done and they've done their findings, that's official and nobody else can reinvestigate it. It's just like this thing. Nobody wants to reinvestigate that. Oh, we're just going to listen to what they were told us and believe it. And that's just the way it is. And most of the sheep believe that. Hogwash. If they're not lying, if they have really nothing to hide, like they always say. Well, if you got nothing well, you're the ones that we should be saying that to, because if you really don't have something to hide, you wouldn't give a shit how many times anybody investigated something. And you'd also open your books, because you don't have anything to hide. It's just like the Kennedy assassination. If there wasn't something hanky-panky going on that somebody would get in trouble, or there was some kind of long-going to this day conspiracy that may be possible, maybe even plausible, there's always a hypothesis, which should people never not cross their minds, because the people at the top have more to gain by what you lose. And that's a fact. Another problem we have is they literally write the history. They script it. Programming, education, television, you name it. They have created a whole life surrounding these events. This is why we think it's normal. We think that this is what they're really telling us. Since many of us weren't there at the time, and we all know only a few could actually explain what truly happened, and those voices have been stifled or have had accidents, mishaps, misfortunes. Wow. Yeah. It always seems to have the same old ring in the air, doesn't it? It's always the same old bag of crap, and we're always getting the same old problem. Maybe one day a good portion of this society will actually go, there is something going on here. There are, and it's more than what we think it is. That's a fact. It's not on this, and it didn't take overnight. It didn't happen in the last 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, or even 100 years. This has been an ongoing thing, believe me. And it's real hard for the average person to grasp that kind of reality of how something could be going on for so long. They can't fathom that. They can't even believe that could be true. That's why the fiction seems to be more reality. than reality itself. So, realistically, this is an insane world when we're following insane people and they created this insanity. And we're just following along like good old pawns, sheeps, drones, robots, whatever. And then we heckle and fight over who's going to get what of the portion of it. But we all know who's going to get the real portion of it. That's the reality we live in, right there. And we keep dying for a bunch of people we don't know, going and killing a bunch of people we don't know on all sides of the table, because it's a big club up there and they're all in it and we're not. And we're all fighting and making it look like that they're all against each other. But you don't see them against each other, do you? They call that diplomacy. They call that civil society. They're being civil while we have to go out and not be civil and murder each other. When in all reality, we didn't have the problem. It manifested between them, if that is a reality, and then we're the dumb suckers that have to go out and die for it. Wow. This is kind of like this insane thing that we have never rose above throughout human history. And that same concept, that same structure is still going on to this day. How about that? Think about that for a while. You just think about that. We haven't changed. We're still doing the same construct of the same kind of shit. Just in a different time with different materials. Peace.